A butterfly stretch is a really great passive stretch for either the muscles in our inner thighs or the outside of our hips, depending on where you're tight. You might feel it in different spots. Let's talk about different ways that we can get into this pose. So traditionally, the butterfly is done with our butt on the ground, soles of our feet together, and we are scooting our heels in close towards our butt. For this stretch, we want to make sure our back is nice and flat and we're not slouching and rounding in this position. If you're someone with tighter hips and you can't quite get that back flat and chest lifted, let alone think about leaning forwards, you're going to be a lot more comfortable if you do this stretch sitting on 1 or 2 yoga blocks. So with butt on the ground or on blocks, soles of our feet together, back nice and flat. I'm going to use my hands to grab the outsides of my shins or my ankles and give me a little pull forwards. I'm really thinking about reaching my belly button towards my feet, not trying to reach forwards with my arms and my head. So this is what it looks like when we're rounding our back. This is what it looks like when we've got a really, really flat back. And your lean forwards might look like this. It might be really, really tiny. That is okay. This is where we're going to start out. If you've got a bit more mobility and leaning forwards is feeling comfortable, we can make this a little bit more challenging by using our elbows or our hands to push our knees towards the floor. And I'm placing my hands or my forearms on my inner thighs, not directly on the knees, so just shy of those knees as I'm leaning forwards. If you get any discomfort or pain in your knees, please don't push through it. We never push through pain. Things that we can do that usually make knees feel better. Sometimes adjusting where our feet are in space, a little farther away, a little closer to our groin, might take some of that tension out. The other thing that we can do is add some physical supports under our knees. So whatever height your knees are at, if you've got really tight hips, that might be putting really tall blocks underneath it. If your knees are getting a little lower, that might be shorter blocks, or you could use a rolled up blanket or like a towel on a pile sort of thing as well as we're leaning into our forward fold. Want to hold this stretch for about 20 to 30 seconds. You're welcome to do it longer if it's feeling good. For those of you who are a little bit more flexible, and you can get those knees mostly to the floor and back is really flat while you're leaning forwards and you still want a more intense stretch, instead of sitting on a block, we can put that block underneath the outside edges of our feet. So our feet are now higher than our hips as we find that forward fold. Only if this feels good on your hips and your knees.
If you want to learn more stretches like this, you should totally check out the Flexopedia on my website. It's a free online library of stretches with detailed how to's for both passive stretches and active stretches organized by muscle group. You can access the Flexopedia by going to dannywinksflexibility.com/Flexopedia or simply click the link in this video description.